So buggy. Oh.
Nechayev has emerged from his year in rehab a new man, with new habits and behaviors. For example, he's become fond of a certain euphemism. Crispy critters. It all started after one of the medics described him and Blesna as crispy critters during his recovery. He was still in a coma at the time. He suddenly leaped out of bed and nearly strangled the medic to death. The staff subdued him by shouting, "We're under fire," after which Plutonium ducked for cover, hit his head, and passed out. Ever since then, crispy critters has become part of his vocabulary. Could it be an example of psychological imprinting?
Interesting. Comrade Privalov, is there any way to automate cataloging on a software level? According to my calculations, I spend between 5 and 7% of the time it takes me to do my paperwork and filing and dates and numbers. As a result, I waste about 47 minutes every day, which adds up to about 1,260 minutes per work month, or about 21 hours. That's 2.5 work days I could be spending more efficiently. Have you lost your minds over there? Do something about this right away. P.S. I went to the psychologist for a checkup, and as requested, in total my sessions took 11 hours, 2 of which were spent on smoke breaks. Psychologist found no deviations. So they kept us in limbo for a long time. Lecture by Kaimov. Speaker. When I give talks about the Soviet Union and allied countries, I am often asked whether it makes sense to focus on specific progress on fundamental changes to the human race. For example, we could, teach people to change properties of their skin in order to make it resistant to heat or cold, or to regrow lost limbs or certain reptiles, or control their biochemistry on a basic level. In other words, to rephrase a well-known thesis, we should strive for the evolution of the individual. My answer is no. I admit that this is a defeatist attitude, but my objection does not lie within the bourgeois conception of man as the pinnacle of creation. We have access to powerful technology, and yet we should not alter ourselves to suit our environment. This would be a step backwards. Instead, we must perfect science in order to fully subjugate nature itself, whether it has to be on Earth or somewhere else. Another reference to aliens. Club Minutes. Pavlov Debate Club. Excerpt from the debate minutes. Speaker 1. Maintaining a high level of technology Soviet science has achieved obviously requires a perpetual profound intellect. That is why the fear that a situation could arise in technology that allows society to become stupider is irrational. Otherwise, this level of technology would ultimately be unsustainable. Speaker 2. But if this threatens to divide mankind into 2 different groups, a smaller group with big brains that does all the intellectual activity, and another massive group with tiny brains that does either the simplest jobs or does nothing at all, because machines do everything for them. This is a pretty gloomy future, but is it possible? That's exactly why the population's ideological education needs to be at number 1 priority. Okay. Let's check for another one. I'm sure there was one more. Fix this ASAP. I've gone over the materials for Science of Life article, but nature, there is no competition within the same species. Only among different species. A wolf eats a rabbit doesn't eat another rabbit, it eats grass. Nor does the wheat get in the way of other wheat. But wheatgrass, saltbush, and sow thistle are all different species, so if they show up somewhere, where is the wheat growing, it will take its food and compete with it. Who wrote this nonsense? Are you trying to embarrass the whole entire Soviet civilization? From Sechumev. Complaint. Dear Comrade Sechumev. This is from Valevov. I'm utterly stunned by your careless attitude to the sensitive materials that have been published following your consultation in a number of periodicals. References to the complex as cut off from real life or having poor connection to production facilities is simply false. Valavov Complex is first and foremost a scientific institution that operates according to a specific plan. Our theoretical work is bound up by a most substantial way with the practical issues related to seed cultivation and the facility's future designs. A man would have to be blind to deny the enormous accomplishments the Valavov team has made in such little time under such trying circumstances. The Institute's research is laying foundations necessary to develop a real-world project to conquer new worlds. Going forwards, please be more mindful of how our work is depicted in print. Report Valavov from Sechenberg to the Archives Department. Seeds, wheat, PS double. Check this data, especially about the dandelions. It's clearly an error. What are we supposed to do with 40 tons of dandelions on Mars? Make dandelion wine? You could, I guess. Somehow, wine flavored with dandelions. Project Hemlock has been halted, deemed unfit for further study. You are hereby informed of materials pertaining to Hemlock are to be catalogued as top secret under a designation A2, organized and filed on the appropriate sections. Any further references to it in other documents are to be redacted via the standard system. Be especially mindful of the information about any employees who are allegedly injured in the project. We've read that before, I think. Except from the Life magazine. 1955. Despite its secrecy, Argentinium, silver in Latin, has already become stuff of legend in a number of European and American publications. Journalists are surprised by extremely small staff, its incredible training and equipment, and its name, which is very atypical of the Soviet Union. You've got to admit that compared to its abbreviations like SMERSH and NKVD, it comes off as odd and clumsy. Rumors say the squad's soldiers are described as either enormous red-eyed bears who eat children or athletic blonde supermen, whom one look at whom would be driven Hitler to dissolve the Reich and admit the German Übermensch's defeat. They're a mystery and will remain one, but we can say this much for certain. Argentum is currently the best trained special forces squad on Earth, and given the Soviet Union's plans, it could be the best trained squad in the solar system before long. All right, son, calm down. Comrade Sechenov, following the events in Bulgaria, Agent Blesnar and Plutonium have both returned in a coma. They are in a vegetable state and are not connected to the neural network. No signs of consciousness have been observed awaiting orders. So we were in Bulgaria, and something happened to us both, and it wiped our memory, I guess. Articles by Tom Wolfe, and then they brought us back using Limbo, maybe? I don't know. We request for excerpts about the facility from foreign media. Washington Post, May 8th, 1955. Soviet steel frame by Tom Wolfe. Universal robotization, it's a tough word, in the Soviet Union was considered a most curious case of modern hypocrisy, ignoring the populist opinions whether it or not robots that pass the Turing test have personal identities. I'm merely pointing out how absurd and at the same time sinister the widespread use of workforce is. Judge for yourselves, a nation whose guiding light is an ideology embraced for equality and strives to end the exploitation of workers and peasants by capital, has now subordinated an entire army of soulless machines that can satisfy its every whim. That's a good point. I didn't think of that. This entire game, I didn't think of that. I don't know anything about Collective 2.0, but I'd say Soviet Union is capitalization 2.0 writ large. The only question is when these robots will demand equal rights for themselves and how bloody the revolution will be. The acceleration of evolution. Despite all the talent and indisputable success achieved by Valavov's research assistance, there is a concern regarding an issue that, while predictable, can only be confirmed in practice. This problem is more profound than preparing seeds for inhospitable conditions or on other planets. Unlike scientists, evolutionary mechanisms do not make predictions or evaluate risk. They simply function, culling the weak and rewarding the strong. Dozens of even hundreds of factors will affect the growth and development of our cultures, making it suggest that so it makes sense to suggest that while working in the genetics of a plant, we should begin by breeding them for faster growth and renewal rather than trying to foresee every minor detail about them. We just need to give an evolution a shot in the arm and it'll do the rest for us, which is how it's always been, by the way. Right, that's upstairs, Red. So let's watch this.
Try this one.
Commencing playback.
The events in Bulgaria left the agents badly injured.
There we go. We read
Technically
that.
speaking, they were clinically dead. Agent Blesna could not be saved. Since Agent Plutonium's condition was less severe, it was possible to return him to combat readiness. However, his nearly destroyed limbs had to be amputated and replaced with the latest prostheses.
Yeah, I already know half my body's prosthetic. What else is new?
These are just general observations. Find another recording.
He already knows that half his body is prosthetic, but he took all this time to actually say that? Not once in this whole game did he even mention that he's got half a body of prosthetics.
Okay, play this one.
Commencing playback.
Following his recovery, the agent's personality was altered significantly, including his behavioral and speech patterns. Because of this, I made the decision to remove the agent from the Argentum unit.
Argentum?
In order to prevent any possibility of memory recidivism, Plutonium received a new call sign, P3, and is now under my direct command and observation. P3's contact with Argentum has been kept to a minimum, and Argentum personnel have been warned against mentioning the call sign Blesna in P3's presence.
Crispy. I'll get another one.
What? Sechenov has you on a leash. He does whatever he wants with you.
Listen, Doc, he saved my life. Do you think I don't know I'm a test subject? That's my job.
So you're a volunteer, huh? Then why are you such a disobedient test subject?
Because before they always told me what they were doing. I'll go get another recording.
I'll go get another recording. Okay, let's do a bit more reading, I guess. There's one. About Nushkin. This is really cruel, Maria. I get it. Nushkin is a pig, but this is just unprofessional. What if he actually goes to the supervisor, or even worse, Sechenov, and starts talking about how his work is magically cataloging itself? Then, when will I see who's doing it all and find out it's just a nasty prank? What are you going to tell him? That Nushkin seduced you and Gagra and wouldn't marry you, so you started sabotaging the lab, and you need to stop. If anyone speaks about this, I won't cover for you. Uh-oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. It's happening again. I'm serious, Maria. It's happening again. My catalogs are splitting up and restructuring themselves on their own. I measured it. I've got a spreadsheet. I think the entire archive is operating like a collective, only separately. What if we accidentally created a self-learning system that can only think that can think and make decisions? I mean, with all the other insane stuff going on here, does that really sound that crazy? I'm going to run a reverse Turing test on it. I haven't slept in 72 hours, but if I'm right, we're all getting a promotion. Sorry again about what happened last winter. Agents Blesna and Plutonium, extremely valuable employees. Saving their lives was top priority. Yep. On behalf of the facility management and myself personally, I would like to congratulate you all on a magnificent beginning to this reporting period. Our close-knit team has proven yet again a spirit of camaraderie is efficient teamwork and yields stunning results. In regard to the aforementioned, it is my pleasure to announce this month that every archive employee will receive a bonus, and in the interests of enlightenment, everyone will receive complimentary tickets to Director Lashtukin's theatrical performance. Contact venue for details. You don't want to go there, it's full of whores. Or maybe you do. Hello, Sam. Hello. What do you need? What are you attacking me for? Is this the next one? No. Creepy. Hi, Katrina. I left 2 devices on overnight and an Anthisa and a lighthouse. I usually use them to test speech based inter-system communication protocols. I wanted them just to exchange phrases and then keep going based on the progressive Turing method. Here are the results. It's particularly creepy. I'll probably just wipe one of them tonight. This won't work. It never works first.
Oh, you've got a very large data exchange sector, Beacon. I'd like to interface with it right now.
When I analyze the dimensions of your chassis, I experience an overload in my neurocomposite architecture, Betsy. My system's core processors have begun to consume a large quantity of electricity.
I demand that you interface with my system immediately and transmit all your data to me in large packets, Beacon.
That kind of connection can be dangerous, Betsy. You know, humans will see a digital sign of my presence. Please, can you wait while I activate a firewall?
No, Beacon, I don't want to wait any longer. Sorting your data through a firewall will make information exchange less pleasurable. Please accept my access protocol right away.
Quiet, Betsy. A scientist is approaching.
God damn it.
What do we have here? What the hell? Stop recording!
Yeah. Why VDNH? We still need to think about all the names. We've heard this before. Since terms come about naturally like slang, but for now, here are orders regarding articles. We can use the following terms: Intergram or Soyuz system, a unified information field that can be accessed via a computer terminal. Slide, a unit of informational space like in the system. Try not to use the term page under any circumstances is unprofessional. Application, a small program that grants user access to certain functions. Do not use the following terms: social network. Soviet users do not have access to any networks, socialists or otherwise. Come up with something clearer. Glitch. What kind of word is this anyway? It sounds like nonsense. Use error, malfunction, or some other normal word. Stylus. I keep seeing the bourgeois faux Latin word. Use pen or light pen instead. To submit to the archive. While designing the latest Android models, we had to focus not only on our utilitarian tasks, but also on commercial viability. Our products are all exported over the world. They need to look and feel like something the Soviet Union. In other words, we need to focus on the Americans called design. We spent a long time discussing what elements would be most recognizable when it comes to robots' names and functions. Call these ballerinas. Then all these ballerinas, Natashas, and such started showing up. Everything from a robot's appearance to its quality should scream "Made in the USSR." To be fair, ballerinas do scream USSR to me. Attention, equipment manager. Provide me with 2 prototype ballerina bodies and disconnect them from the neural network. Delete their AI models. They need 2 blank robots without any control systems. From Sechenov. That's for the guards, right? Comrade Yevstigenyevna. I've been seeing more sloppy use of our terms in publications. Again, reminder, robot is a general term for any manufactured mechanism based on robotics. It's an automated device designed to perform various mechanical operations that acts according to previously established program. An android is a human robot with various functions. You keep mixing up every robot, the communication with an android. Please be more mindful as the term bio-robot is prohibited by Comrade Sechenov itself. May not be used in any way. Words like automaton, doll, the machine have no place in our publications. Ooh. Okay. Are there any over there? Don't see any over there. Have we cleared this side? I see one over there. Or one for this side. That one. May as well pick this up. Important message. Let's go, B2. That's very important. Miss A10. Oh, he's playing battleships? Miss, already give up B10. Are you nuts? You really think I can't see what you're doing from up here? Why are you using your workspace to play battleship? Hey, Mike. How you going? You have a Latin test tomorrow. I'm getting an F. I don't know Latin. I studied, but I just don't get it. Well, it's a dead language. Although it's kind of interesting you're studying it. Are you nuts? Why are you using your workspace to play battleship? They told me not to let Klimov brothers work together, but I didn't listen. If I see this again, keep one of you here and the other one transferred to the Valve to plant potatoes. Get back to work. If I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, Dimitri. I don't want a new body. And it has nothing to do with me putting on airs, as you put it. There's no point. I'm much more productive in this state. Simply more practical and useful for myself and for you. You already have your Ekaterina dolls following you around. Leave me be. Fair enough. We have Latin as a subject in Bosnia. Interesting. I mean, I don't know when you'd use it, though. When are you going to use Latin? Each to their own, I guess. We had, as kids, we had French and German, and that was it. Rough draft. As some conclusions at the end, it's really dry. Just a while ago, what if conversations were at best purview of statisticians and analysts, depending on the topic in question. But today, thanks to Lebedev's quantum systems predicting alternate histories, has literally become a science. This has allowed us to get a very accurate report on the history of Soviet Union and World War II.